Luke, the ball guy, man. Yes, sir. It's a ball guy. That's what he do. You know what I'm saying?
Gang got that fire.
Thank you for watching West Coast. This is Antoine Woods.
Thanks for watching West Coast. Go Cowboys.
This is Ray Williams. Thank you so much for hanging out with us with Dallas Cowboy Scout.
Appreciate
My
you.
man West Coast from this buck.
Thank you for watching West Coast.
Shout out West Coast Cowboys. You know it's always love over here. Raider, Cowboy, always a Cowboy.
Did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys? Yeah!
What's up with you guys? It is your boy West Coast, and we are live in the building, man. How you guys doing on this great Tuesday? What is this? A Tuesday night evening? Tuesday night evening. And me and my boy Boss Cowboy, man, we are back in the building, back for our regular show. We got the green screen pushed over to the side, so y'all know ain't gonna be no funny business tonight. Just straight cowboy talk, man. I am the one-legged cowboy, West Coast Cowboy, and I got my cousin Boss Cowboy on the line. What's up with you, man?
What's up, cuzzo?
I'm good, man. How you feeling today, man?
Oh, man. I mean, like, ready to talk about some Cowboy football.
Shoot, I heard that. My boy said a surprise live. Nah, what it is, man, you know, Cowboys took a little hiatus, so I figured me and Boss Cowboy, we can't get a couple days off. You know what I'm saying? Cowboys, you know what I'm saying? They've been off since, what, for a minute now. So me and Boss Cowboy, we need a couple days to, you know, attend to the sheep. Attend to everything else we need to attend to, but we back, because we back, and we live in the building, man. So we about to have ourselves a great show today. We're gonna talk about some starting this week. Actually, we're gonna start having a new path, basically, to the things that we're doing here at Dallas Cowboy Scouting and at Boss Cowboy Sports. And basically on Tuesday is gonna be our designated free agent day. We're gonna talk a lot about free agency. And free agency also means your current team, because it's impossible to talk about free agency without talking about what the hell's going on your own team. You know what I'm saying? And then Wednesdays is going to be our designated draft day. Now Wednesdays, the free agency days are going to be led by myself, and then Wednesdays are going to kind of be spearheaded by my boy Boss Cowboy. He has a great tool that he's going to be publishing here. And he's going to be putting it out, and you know, I think it's going to be something it's going to benefit the nation. It's going to benefit the nation. It's going to be very inexpensive, and it's going to be something that you guys will be able to use and learn and enjoy. So I'm totally excited for when this great tool drops, and to celebrate the beginning of our new draft show. We're actually going to have a special guest on the show tomorrow. We're gonna have my boy Cal Duggar out of Lenore Rain College. That's out there in Arkansas. We're gonna have him on the show. If you guys watched the Senior Bowl, he was a DB. Really stood out to me. I'm gonna be honest with you. A couple of, before it even got off, a couple of people had actually already mentioned him to me. My boy Shara, appreciate you for sending me some information, and I think Boss Cowboy had mentioned him once or twice too. And So we reached out, and he will be on the show tomorrow at 6 p.m. We're going to be interviewing him about his senior. We're going to be interviewing him about his senior day experience. We're going to be interviewing him about his senior year in football, and then we're also going to talk to him about what he feels he can bring to the NFL and what he feels he can bring to a team. But just real quick, Boss Cowboy, what are your thoughts on him real quick before we even get on the phone and talk to him tomorrow? And he's going to be live on the show.
Yeah, Cal was somebody, when I grade and scout, it's hard to really scout people that's coming from small schools like him, because obviously the level of competition is hard to kind of gauge whether they doing good or not. So, but he did what he's supposed to do on that level, and he dominated, especially with the ball in his hand. So I wanted to see how he was going to perform in the Senior Bowl, and he killed it, And I actually said this. I said, for me to really rank him as high as a lot of people are hyping him, he's going to have to destroy the Senior Bowl. And he backed it up. So it's nothing like when a player, answers your questions, and you can cross off your questions and your concerns. And he did. He made a lot of big plays and a lot of athletic plays. And the one thing that I love is he got an interception on one-on-one drill, and you play corner, I play corner. We both know when you get interceptions when the quarterback has the whole field, right? And he's covering in a place to where the tight end can go either direction. That shows a lot of athleticism and ability to break on the ball. So when you making plays one-on-one with all those talented players out there, and you follow it up with a good Saturday game, yeah, he went way back up on my list.
Yeah, and one thing, it's something that you said too, very very important is, when you play for a D2 school, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, he was Mr. D2. He won the Cliff Harris Award, which is the award who is actually Cliff Harris. If you guys know who that is. You should know who that is, because he's only, the best Dallas Cowboy DB to ever be drafted by the Dallas Cowboys. But, Cliff Harris, who will be inducted into the Hall of Fame this week. Actually, not this week, but he's going to be inducted with Jimmy Johnson. And he actually won the very award that's given in Cliff's name, which is given to the best defensive player, which you could pretty much say best all-around player in D2. You know what I'm saying? So, one thing I love that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times kids will be in the lower ranks and they'll excel, but one thing I like about Kyle is the exact same thing you said is once Kyle got into an arena where the talented was supposed to be the same or better, he still stuck out. And that screams baller. You know what I'm saying? That definitely screams baller. So I'm excited to have him on, so make sure you guys tune in tomorrow. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow at 6 p.m. We're going to have Cal Duggar on here, DB, standout from the Senior Bowl, and it's going to be absolutely amazing. It's going to be a really good interview, so make sure you guys tune in. Before we get on to this next portion, because Tuesdays is going to be free agency. That's going to be the day where we are dedicated to just primarily just talking about free agency. So we're going to try to talk about the free agents. First off, before you can even talk about, whenever people talk about free agents, they always talk about, adding people on their team. You know what I'm saying? But one thing that's really important about free agency, and most important part of free agency, honestly, is the free agents that you currently have on your team. You know what I'm saying? So before we go into guys out there in the NFL who we would like to have, and trust me, there are some guys, there's a few of them that I like that are going to be available. We're going to discuss and we're going to break down the guys who are free agent on our current team right now and kind of go over those. Now, there was a quote that was put out. These free agents that we do are not going to be necessarily in any type of importance. At some point, they will be. I'm going to be honest with you. But with Byron Jones, we're going to talk about him first simply because of the quote that was put out today by Mike Nolan. And this was via interview with John Makota. He's a really knowledgeable guy, works for the blog in the Star. And he puts out really good information. Hey, if you guys haven't also, what's up with your Quincy Williams? Make sure you guys share. Travis, all you guys, give you guys share. We got 60 people in here. Let's try to see if we can get it up to 100. Make sure you guys share. Share it with someone in the Cowboy Nation who you think would be interested in understanding their team more. So John Makota said, Boss Cowboy, he said, I'm going to read this to you. You tell me what this means to you. John Makota on Twitter said Mike Nolan shared a story. He says, Troy Aikman once told him while discussing ball hawks, I'm not really concerned with throwing at a corner that I know is just going to knock the ball down. I throw incompletions all the time. But when I throw at Dion, you got to be concerned about a pick six. When you hear that from your defensive coach, and he's already known to be a guy that loves turnovers, what does that say to you, Boss Cowboy? And what's up to my people over there on Instagram and my people on YouTube?
Now, who said that?
That's what Mike Nolan said. When we read it one more time?
No, I heard it. I just wanted to make sure it was who I thought it was.
Mike Nolan shared a story that he had with Troy Aikman.
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, like, the writing is already on the wall for Byron, and it's real clear. And I think what started happening is the front office, they got to kind of prepare the fan base for more than likely moves that they're anticipating on doing. Now, they're going to roll it out slow. They're not going to do it fast. They're going to kind of leak it out and kind of poll test it and kind of prepare the fan base for it. So I think that's kind of what's starting to kind of go on. Because obviously, you know, we talk about the guide that's coming out that'll be out Monday that I wrote. But in the guide, one thing that we talk about with Byron Jones is the fact that the free agent market is not good. And so that actually helps him. So it's like sometimes it's almost like this, in my opinion, West Coast. When you kind of seeing the writing on the wall that the girl that you like don't really like you, sometimes it's good to go and get rid of her first so that she can at least kind of want you, you know, a little bit and chase you a little bit. Because if you already see they getting ready to break up with you, sometimes it's best for you to make the first move. so that's what
message.
Yeah, is that, and that's what's really going on is like, you got to think about it. Like, when you know you one of the best corners, that don't mean you the best corner in a and that's what's really in a bad year. Going on is like, if you the best corner in a bad year, that means teams are gonna bid for you. It's just gonna happen, right? Yeah. And so they gonna be bidding for your services, and that means that you also get the pick from likely contender teams. So Byron, they anticipating him getting away because we not gonna want to pay him a top market contract. We're not gonna want to do that, and nor should we. Because, and I just don't see this, West Coast. I want to see what you think about this, but I don't see Stephen Jones hardballing publicly Dak, Zeke, and Cooper for a whole year and then turning around and getting weak over Byron Jones. And I'm not saying Byron don't deserve to get paid. I'm saying I just don't think it's in the DNA of the people that make those decisions.
Yeah, and I'm like, I like Byron Jones. I definitely feel that he is the right kind of guy, you know. But honestly, like Mike McCarthy, like if you look at his teams, it looks like he likes dudes with a little bit of attitude. So I'm gonna be honest with you, you know. I think Byron Jones, you know, under a Jason Garrett regime would be looked at as the right kind of guy, the guy you want to kind of keep around. And because he likes all those characteristics, he loves his mild manneredness, he loves all, you know, he loves the good things, you know, the nice things about him. But I think under Mike McCarthy, I think he looks at that probably as a sign of weakness, man. Where it's like, well, you know, and not even under Mike McCarthy, under Nolan, that's what I meant to say. Under Mike Nolan, I think he more or less looks at that as a weakness. Like, maybe that's part of the reason why you not getting your hands on the ball. Because I'm going to be honest with you, man. You don't find too many corners who are mal-mannered like Byron Jones who get their hands on the ball. You just don't. Because being a corner is such an attitude position. I'm sorry. Just like safety. Safety is an attitude position. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, it's very hard for me to look at the Dallas Cowboys track record of what they've done with other players and then assume that they're about to go all the way against what they've done with other players and pay Byron Jones. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. If Byron Jones gets paid without top dollar money, without having to fight for it like Zeke did, that's a spit in Zeke's face. Because Zeke had the stats. Like, Byron Jones doesn't have any stat that says that he should be enumerated like the best corners in the NFL. Outside of the fact that he is the best corner available. And I'm going to be honest with you. Last year, a lot of you guys said that wasn't a good enough reason for Dak to get paid. Okay, I get it. But you can't then pay Byron Jones. Let's just be real. You're paying Dak Prescott now because you know he deserves it. You saw what that boy did with them stats and them touchdowns last year. He deserved his money. But that's the same thing I said about Dak last year. Oh, you can't do him just because he's the best available. No, it don't work that way. And so Byron Jones was making $7.5 million. He was supposed to make $9 million. They put him on. I forget how they did it, but they did. I forget. I gotta look it up. But he ended up making they ended up costing like $7 million on the cap. But if he gets anything that Byron Jones gets, a pay raise is gonna be double his salary. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Byron Jones' production on the field does not say that you would warrant he should get paid double what he got paid last year. Like, it doesn't say it at all. And to be honest with you, 2018 statistically was a better season. In 2018, I wasn't really up on paying him. So, I think the Dallas Cowboys did Byron Jones a solid, man. When they let this dude play on a fifth-year option, like, let's be real, bro. Like, he did not deserve the fifth-year option. But they gave it to him because they knew they were moving him to a different position. And at some point, they had to have a conversation with him and say, hey, bro, you got to get some interceptions. And guess what? He didn't, bro. Like, we don't. So, I think Byron Jones kind of represents the old way of doing business, keep it real. And that is guys who just haven't earned it getting paid.
Yeah, and I'm going to say this. The Dallas Cowboys have the money to pay him.
Yeah, but the earn part, though, that's what I'm saying. The earn part.
Yeah, but it's about our culture, and it's about. I mean, we just got to look at it how it is. It's like, just think about it. And West Coast said it best. Who deserved it more than Zeke? There was nothing statistically when Zeke was enumerated that said he shouldn't have been. I mean, how many rushing titles you got to win? You know what I mean? They was calling a running back the most valuable player, which is crazy, but they was still saying it. That means he balled out. And so if you look at the culture, it just doesn't say it. It just doesn't say that we're going to do that. Like you said, how can you take Zeke through that? How can you take Dak through that and Cooper through that? And then this guy don't get interceptions, but you go bend over the $14 million? No.
Yeah, his tape does not say that. His tape does not say go pay that guy double. He deserves to get paid double.
Right. And so it's a game I want to play real quick, man. I was thinking about this game, and I was thinking call it the or game. Byron Jones or, right? Because that's sometimes what you got to think about, because likely they budgeted for Byron Jones, but did they expect Quinn to be what he is? So if you have a budget, right, for Jones, right, but you say, but we might need to play Quinn, do we go Byron Jones or Quinn?
You're going to go Robert Quinn. Hey, I want you to explain something. I want you to explain something to these people, though, because I got people that are saying, why don't we just franchise tag him? Bruh, are you kidding me? Why would you want to franchise tag Byron Jones? Why would you want to gift him like $13.5 million? No. And think about this. $13 million, that's on a 1-year deal that automatically comes out of your salary cap. That means that $98 million goes to like 80 something. That's less money you now have to sign Dak, Amari Cooper, Robert Quinn. There's no way. Like, I'm sorry, like, you cannot be in the National Football League making $10 million as a corner and you don't produce turnovers. There's just not. It doesn't work that way.
Let me ask you one more question too, West Coast.
Go ahead.
So
I'm not tagging him at all. I'm not gonna guarantee Byron Jones $14 million. That makes no sense.
All right. So we go play the or game one more time. So we have an option of Byron Jones or Jordan Phillips of Buffalo, who had 31 tackles,
Jordan Phillips
games, and 10 sacks with an estimated contract market value of 6.1. So you got Byron Jones for 13 on a franchise tag or 14 million, or you go Jordan Phillips at DT right now. And that's
I'm gonna take the DT. I'm gonna take the DT, but I'm gonna tell you this: I'll give you one that's even more realistic. Byron Jones or Anthony Brown. And I'm gonna be honest with you: if you're telling me I gotta pay Byron Jones $14 million, or I can pay Anthony Brown like $3 million for like 4 years, I'm taking Anthony Brown.
Hey,
$14 million is a lot of money. Think about this.
It's a lot, bro. Because that's why I'm saying the or game.
But I'm just saying, that's $1 million less than Earl Thomas. He's not worth $1 million less than Earl Thomas. I'll take Anthony Brown.
We got 6 DTs with expired contracts, right? So
7 if you do Antoine Woods with exclusive rights.
So we got Jordan Phillips, right? That's $6 million, right? That's his calculated market value right now.
And you can add to that Downey Shelton from New England for $4.7 million. So we not even up. You getting already close to 2 DTs for 1 Byron Jones. Danny Shelton with 61 tackles, 3 sacks, and 6 QB hits. You can add that to another guy straight in the middle that got 10 sacks last year. All for Byron Jones, and you still less than Byron Jones. No. Like, so if you think about our needs and you think about what we got to do, it's like, no, I'm going with the 2 DTs, especially, like you said, you can re-sign Anthony Brown, which I wouldn't.
But I'm just saying, you got to think of the money. If you're asking me right now, at $14 million worth of value or $3 million worth of value, where am I going to get the closest to my money back? Anthony Brown.
Yep, and that's if
because it's easier for Anthony Brown to be like $1.5 million corner than for me to believe that Byron Jones can be a $14 million corner.
I'm gonna tell you what I would do in a situation with Anthony Brown. I wouldn't do either one of those. I would let both go because I wouldn't even want Anthony Brown to get 3. I think this is a nickelback draft.
I believe it, but we playing the or game, so now see you playing the game and you go.
I got one more or to that. I'd rather start Chris Westry.
But we were talking about the or. We talking about just them two, ors.
I'm giving another or, but see, I agree with your or though. If it was Byron or Anthony, I'm going Anthony, right? Just so we can have $3 million versus $14 million.
Yeah, and then think about this, and boss, think about this. Whenever you write a contract, it's about who can give me a return on my investment, who can give me my money back, or get me close to my money back. I think Anthony Brown can get you closer to $3 million than Byron Jones can get you $14 million. That's almost $1 million. Is he gonna give you $900,000 worth of quarterbacking a game? No, bruh. He's not.
Yeah, and see, the way to look at Byron Jones, because I know a lot of people, man, they get mad at us when we talk about this. But see, you got to remember, sometimes we got to think back in the past to really be able to forecast how we would feel going forward, right? So, West Coast, everybody thought Carr was a good pick until we paid him. Carr was the hottest thing going coming out of Kansas City.
He was the highest paid corner, too. We made him the highest paid corner in the NFL.
We made him the highest paid corner. And guess what? Everybody starts saying, man, this guy only getting us about 2 interceptions a year, man. That ain't no highest paid corner kind of production. That's what we kept hearing that. We would say, he covers good, but man, he only getting us about. But then all you had to do was go look back at Kansas City. He was exactly the same. You know? So it's like that's how you go feel, and what we try to do is say, no, you don't want that feeling. You don't want that feeling of watching all these quality DTs go to other teams that's that's way less than what Byron Jones, and then you pay him $14 million, and he's still giving you 0 interceptions, and you watching these guys making plays in the middle. Now think about having 2 of those DTs that I just named, and I can name you about 15 more. So just think about having 2 of those guys with Quinn and with Tank. You can get that if you do not pay Byron Jones. This is what I would do. I'd rather have the 2 guys I said in the middle, Phillips, right? I'm definitely going with him. And then I'm going to have Quinn, I'm going to have Tank, and I'm going to have Lewis, I'm going to have Awuzie, I'm going to draft a nickel. Or I'm going to move up Chris Westry and say, hey, I'd rather have this push from the middle than a guy that covers pretty good but he don't get the ball. I'm going to help these guys get the ball by having real push in the middle and coming off the edges.
Yeah. Hey, and shout out to my folks over on Instagram who are rocking with us. My boy said Cowboys need a new secondary that makes plays and causes turnovers. Miss Quiet Storm says she loves the commentary. I appreciate you for rocking with us. Angela, how you doing? Robin Little, how you doing? And Bedroom Eyes, I think that's my cousin Ebony. What's up with you? Byron didn't do anything for Dallas. My boy Miguel says, I think a lot of Cowboys. I mean, this is the thing, right? Me and Boss Cowboy said this, and we got crucified on the cross. That's why I love going live, because it records everything you do. So when these times come back, I can be like, yo, y'all remember when I told y'all we should have traded Byron Jones? And y'all be like, no, you never said that, Waco. Okay, remember, then I put the video back up, and you'll be like, oh, that video. Yes. This is part of the reason why we were saying last year to trade Byron Jones. Because at the end of the day, my thing is this, right? If Byron Jones didn't affect this season, what would we have missed by trading him? What would we have missed in 2019 by trading him? Think about this. I don't even want to say we would have got another first-round pick, but let's just say if we could have gotten and I know we could have gotten an early second-round pick for him.
Yeah.
How would one of them wide receivers that's playing in the Super Bowl this year? What's that young kid for 49ers? How would or DK Metcalf? How would he have helped this offense a little bit more? How would have Juan Thornhill would have helped this offense a little bit more? I mean, his defense. You know what I'm saying? Like now, I know they say hindsight is 20/20, but I mean, I'm looking at Byron Jones, and if you're telling me I'm missing something, I'm asking you, what am I gonna miss? Troy Aikman said it best. Ain't nobody scared of somebody knocking the ball down. They scared of someone taking the ball away. Everybody can knock the ball down.
And Byron took some L's this year too.
And he took some L's.
See,
Yeah, speak up a little, Boss Cowboy. Asking for you to speak up a little.
What's out there is just frankly not true, man. He is not shut down. He got owned by the Redskins rookie receiver in the second half. He had a good first half, but in the second half, the rookie owned him, man. And when you are shut down, there's no such thing as any rookie that's going to size you up, man. I'm sorry. Even when Moss came into the league and was killing everybody, when he came to Dallas, he got no action on Dion. None. No action. All that action was on Kevin Smith. So it's almost like when you arguing sometimes with your brother or your sister or your son, and they really love this girl. And you like, hey, look, man, I gotta be honest with you. You like good, but we telling you best capable.
Yeah.
You are best type of guy. You don't have to settle, and that's what we talking about. And it's like we know he's good. Never think we saying he doesn't play good. I like that he makes plays. I like that he's in the hip a lot of times, but it's just that it's not enough value for $14 million. And that's just what it comes down to. It's like,
yeah,
you got Lewis over here with way less snaps and reps with way more interceptions. Yeah,
Kerry says the rookie he took J. Lou to school too. It happens, but the only problem is J. Lou we ain't talking about paying J. Lou. So guess what? Opportunity in life, sometimes that could be your biggest issue too.
Yeah, that's all it is. Like if we could get Byron for $9 million.
I mean, if I could pay Byron Jones what I pay Jordan Lewis, then guess what? I would have no problem with that. But I'm about to pay Byron Jones like I got 3 Jordan Lewises on my team.
Yeah,
and that's the problem.
And then on top of that, West Coast, it's like we saying we ain't got 6 DTs
that need to get signed.
Like, come on, y'all. We got 6 DTs to replace, y'all. So that automatically tells you that Stephen Jones is gonna have to do some value shopping.
Yeah.
He got Neiman Market taste with Walmart budget.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, come on. That's what's happening. We got like real high price taste right now. And it's like, if I'm gonna pay you top market, I gotta at least know you top 5. You can't say Byron Jones top 5.
Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you something else.
You really can't say he's top in interceptions on anything.
No. And boss, and before we switch to the next player, because I don't want to make this a rag on Byron Jones show, but we can pretty much say this, that Byron Jones is most likely gonna be gone. And I'm gonna put some positive on it. This is my boy over here, 24 Zach, had a great comment too, and this is something true too. Like, Byron Jones was never, like, Deion was always on the best wide receiver. Like, if you were the team's best wide receiver, Deion was on you. Our defense is not built that way because our DBs did not travel. So, Byron Jones was taking the number 1 or he was taking the number 3. You know what I'm saying? He had action. So it's like he should have been able to generate some plays versus some of these younger dudes. You know what I'm saying? Or some of these guys in their 3 wide receiver. Why? Because they're not going to always send the number 1 over there. They're going to switch it up. So it's like Byron Jones should have been able to take those opportunities. So that's actually a great point, you know, for my guys who are real tech. Good shoot.
Before we switch, I want to say one quick thing. Byron Jones is going to leave because of Byron Jones, too. It's not going to be because we got rid of him.
Somebody's going to offer him some money, though.
It's going to be about money. Like,
yeah, he going to get paid.
Earl Thomas sincerely wanted to play for Dallas. He embarrassed himself to a degree during the game, walking over to our locker room, which is crazy.
Not unheard of in the digital age.
Unheard of.
It's probably happened in another age, but it ain't never happened in the age where we could videotape you. Never.
In West Coast, this the deal. When Baltimore came out, it was like, we gonna pay you $50 million.
He was like
Dallas, that's what's gonna happen to Byron. So we more so did a lot of talking about why not to pay him, but really, honestly, Byron gonna walk off on his own.
And he gonna walk away with a bunch of money. He's gonna walk away with a bunch of money.
With a bunch of money to a team he picked.
Yep. My only advice to Byron Jones, and this is what I tell Byron Jones, right? Byron Jones may put himself in a Mo Claiborne situation where Mo Claiborne was like the number 2 best corner available. So when he was available on free agency, he got paid. Jets paid him. Right? But he couldn't live up to that contract. And a lot of these guys think these other teams are like Dallas, where we'll give you 9 lives to, like Dallas, we'll give you 9 lives to mess up. Oh, it's okay. Just try to catch the ball next time, okay? just try to tackle them next time. I know you didn't do it good this year. Where other teams, they'll cut you. That's why you hear people be like, oh, Kellen Moore messed up. We got to give him an extra year. Where in other teams, they're like, bruh, fire him. Because they're used to stuff happening. They're used to you making a mistake and actions happen. Now, every team ain't built like Dallas where we going to give you them 9 lives. So my best advice to Byron Jones is this. All money ain't good money. You know what I'm saying? You take one of them real big contracts and you don't get, because you got to remember, when a team pay you $14, $15 million, they're going to be expecting you to get turnovers. If you don't get no turnovers, you know what's going to happen? They're not going to treat you like they did in Dallas, where they just said, oh, don't worry, we'll just keep paying you. Maybe you're a better safety. No. What's going to happen is Byron Jones is going to be a free agent. That's the only thing that kind of like, you know what I'm saying? You got to be careful with these contracts you take. Terrell McClain did it also when he left Dallas. He left Dallas, went to Washington, got all that money to be a defensive end, and guess what? Couldn't live up to that money. Why? Because Dallas gave you a gang of lives before you messed up. These other teams, they're like, nah, wait, you can't do it in the first year? Okay, then you ain't going to be able to do it in the second year. I'm not even about to go through that. So that's my advice with Byron. Now, I'm going to give Byron a green gone because I believe that he's going to be in the same situation as Earl Thomas, that somebody's going to offer him some money that is going to be unrealistic for the Dallas Cowboys to even offer or even to match.
That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, and the funny thing about it is Steven is preparing you guys for it. That's why he's saying.
Write it down. Write it down.
Yeah, Byron Jones, he's a great corner. We're going to have to see if he fits. There is going to be a team that's going to bite on him.
Yeah, just all you got to do is go look at the free agent market.
Talking about a bidding war now, boss. Didn't you say it?
He got to get paid. They old and they not good.
What is a bidding war, boss Cowboy? I think you said that.
It's going to be a bidding war, and I'm telling y'all, write it down. We said it. He go walk away. It ain't going to be us. We mess around and would have gave him $14 million, but somebody gonna give him a crazy number, and everybody gonna say, "Oh no!" Oh, even all the fans that like him gonna be like, "Nah, we can't do that."
like DeMarco Murray. Like when DeMarco Murray got that money, everybody was mad. And then we found out how much they gave him. It was like, no, DeMarco Murray's not no $10 million running back. No, I can't do it.
And somebody said he might end up in the division.
I wouldn't be that would be a team that would overpay.
And and I'm gonna say this too. Byron Jones is a threat. Like Byron Jones is a threat from this standpoint. If you put Byron Jones on tight ends, on our tight ends, those tight ends are done. It's one thing Byron Jones can do more than anything is cover tight ends and elite ones.
Yeah.
Like if you put Byron Jones on Ertz gonna have a bad day. If you put him on Kelsey, he gonna have a bad day. So I'm recognizing what he's excellent at tight ends. He is the man.
So he should be a safety then.
Yeah, exactly. But you're a corner.
You should be a safety then.
Excellence when you cover the receiver. You know what I mean? And I'm just being real. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then my boy, and I want to let you guys in on a point. Do you guys think that Deion Sanders ever got overpaid?
No.
You want to know why? Because he was worth it. There's not a such thing as overpaying great players.
Right.
Because they're worth it.
Right. Yeah.
Like, was Deion Sanders worth 30? I remember the Sports Illustrated cover to this day. Deion Sanders with his helmet thing like this. He had his helmet right here, and the tagline said, "Is he worth $35 million?"
Yes.
You remember that? I remember that Sports Illustrated cover. And that's what we gave Deion. Unheard of.
But
is he really worth $35 million? Was he? Yes. He was worth every penny.
Play receiver, play corner, play punt return, play kickoff return. Would have went to the Hall of Fame if he just was a returner alone. Yes. So it's one of those things to where, like, you know, hey, it's not gonna be us. Write this down. It's not gonna be Dallas that let Byron go. Write this down. It's gonna be he accepted an offer outside. Watch. Don't be mad at Boss Cowboy in West Coast, because we telling you why he's gone. All you gotta do is look at the market. Now, if this was a good corner market where he had to compete against a young Peterson, maybe if Gilmore was in that class and all of that, okay, then I'd be like, we might have a chance.
Yeah.
But there's no Gilmores in this free agent class.
Yeah. Yeah, and one thing I love about the Dallas Cowboys are too, even though Byron Jones did really good against tight ends, we're actually fortified against that. Our tight ends, or not our tight ends, our linebackers. Our linebackers, like if you think about it last year, when Zach Ertz had his biggest game, we had 19 catches, who was on him? Who was on him that whole night? LVE. You know what I'm saying? I think under this new offense that we're going to run, you're not going to have so many safeties coming down. You're going to have maybe another, because my thing is this. If I have a tight end and he is dominating and I'm noticeably seeing him catching balls, bro, I'm not going to let a safety just stay on him all game. I'm not. I'm switching my defense up and I'm putting a corner out there. Why? Because who sticks who sticks a tight end better than a damn corner? That's what corners are designed for. Coverage. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, this is definitely an NFL base where, you know, you gotta have some guys who can cover. But I just, at $14 million, man, at what he's about to make, nah, you can't do it.
No.
Can't do it. Not for coverage. Can't do it.
No.
All right, so he's gonna get a green gone. All right, next person we're gonna go to, man, is probably the more important guys on. Not to say important on guys because he plays the most important position in football. We're gonna start off right here with our quarterback, and that is Dak Prescott. You know what I'm saying? We got about 20 minutes left. I think every Tuesday we'll just go. Well, I mean, we'll go about 3 or 4 guys. We'll go through Dak, and then we'll probably knock off 1 or 2 more guys after this, and we'll get up out of here. So let's talk about Dak Prescott for a little bit, man. Dak Prescott, obviously free agent. There's been talks of him getting franchise tag. There's been talks of him. I don't even know the talks of a franchise tag. I think that was just Jerry Jones kind of putting a filler out there because it was way, way early. It was damn near in the regular season. Like, we were still in the season. They were talking about franchise tagging him next year. I'm like, why would that even be a conversation? But my thoughts are this. I believe Dak Prescott will be signed here. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think that somebody actually made a statement that I was like, oh, my God, that is so damn Jerry Jones. That is so Jerry Jones. And they basically said that they feel Jerry Jones is going to announce they're going to extend Dak Prescott the day of the Super Bowl or the day after the Super Bowl. It take all the headlines. And I'm like, that actually sounds like something Jerry Jones would do. What are your thoughts, Boss Cowboy?
Smart.
But that sounds like something Jerry would do, right?
Well,
the day of the Super Bowl, Dallas Cowboys have announced that they have extended Dak Prescott.
Yeah, and that's typical Jerry.
Typical.
It's smart. It's like look how he did with Jason Garrett. That was so wild. They had a stat that was like 99.9% of the time, if you wasn't fired after Wednesday or after Black Monday,
you kept your job.
No.
Not in Dallas.
Jerry took all the ratings from all the playoff teams.
Took everything from them. Everything.
And then another thing, because I know we're going to try to move on to the other people real quick, so I'm not going to take too long on Dak. It makes sense to pay Dak now, and Dak has leverage. Like, Dak has all the leverage, because right after the Super Bowl, it's going to be a major scramble for other teams to try to be in front, because you want to sign your quarterback early so that you can be ahead of the quarterback market. You don't want the market to run on you. So you got obviously Watson, then you go more than likely even have Tannehill sneak up with a top market deal. Watch. They go justify because he took them 2 games into the playoffs and he had a good 6-game run. He's going to have a market-setting contract just like Jimmy Garoppolo. He's going to get one, and then obviously you got Mahomes, who everybody is beating on their chest ready to pay that man.
They already said he's getting $40 million, so.
And it's crazy because he don't even deserve $40 million. No. Like, if you understand the market, nobody ever took a $5 million increase all at once. No quarterbacks ever. That's never happened.
Like, Boss Cap, can I ask you a question? Answer this question. Is Patrick Mahomes $5 million worth more than Russell Wilson? No.
No. Yeah, and it's
no. And I like Patrick Mahomes, but he's not $5 million a year better than Russell Wilson.
Yeah, and
he's not.
The percentage of the cap was 18.9 with Russell. 18.6.
Yep.
The average is usually 16. So if you move Mahomes up to 40, that's gonna be almost 20%.
Byron Jones did not. And real quick, I got some money on YouTube. That's whenever we quote stats, quote them accurate. Because I got film right now on my computer of Byron Jones giving up 3 touchdowns. So I know we got our love, and this is a passing league, but you also got to remember this. This is not a passing league because the 4 top teams in the NFL didn't even make the playoffs this year. The top 4 running teams in the NFL made the playoffs. Back to you, Jack. So, are we keeping Dak Prescott? Or, what you tell me? What's the number, man? What's the number?
The number that it should be, and it's actually, we should have closed this out mid-season. The number should be around 34, because they had reports they turned down 34, but I guarantee he turned down 34 because the guarantee wasn't good enough. So the average per year should at least be 34 or 35 million. The biggest number that'll close this deal right now would be the total guarantee, which should be at least 112 million.
Yeah.
The reason why it should be 112 million is because Goff broke the market with 110. So he's not going to take anything less than Goff. When he look at his 4-year numbers, it's clearly way better than Goff and way better than Wentz. And Wentz total guarantee was $108 million. Mm-hmm. So those two numbers gonna have to be surpassed by Dak's contract, or he's not signing. And I think Jerry and Steven understand that they can hit an exponential lick on Dak by allowing, by running out the clock of the season. Because if they would have signed him in 2019, then they would have had to pay him his bonus in 2019. So now that it went into a new year, they kind of reset the clock on him and basically took $33 million out of his pocket.
Yeah.
So with the fact that they're maybe already doing that gives them that much room in the cap to just say, okay, we're a difference of $1 million from closing this out. Let's just close this out and let's get ahead of Watson,
Trubisky, Watson,
and Mahomes.
Mahomes.
Yeah, and that's why they already putting it out to the media. That's why you can tell they negotiating right now. Dak getting ready to get paid.
Somebody asked the question, is Dak worth $35 million as same as Russell Wilson? I'm going to be honest with you. I know fans look at contract as in what have you done for me lately? But if you look at a contract, this is the funniest thing about a contract and fans, right? Fans will look at 1 year, right? And be like, oh yeah, that 1 year is good enough for me to decide if I'm going to pay you for the next 5 years. That doesn't make any sense. When you do a contract, at least look at the same amount of years. If you're going to give someone a 4-year contract, at least look at 4 years worth of work that he's produced, right? So, right, you look at Dak Prescott. You look at what he's done over the last 4 years. You look at Russell Wilson's done over the last 4 years. Yeah, Dak Prescott's worth the same amount of money as Russell Wilson. He is. Now, if you want to argue, is he worth more money? We can argue that. That's debatable back and forth. But I mean, if you want to look at what they've done for their team over the last 4 years, I can definitely see it. And I'm gonna be honest with you, Russell Wilson didn't even have to get an extension. The reason why Russell Wilson got an extension is because he basically threatened his organization. He said, what did he say, Boss Cowboy? What did Russell Wilson say to get his extension? Because they didn't want to pay him either. You know what I'm saying?
He wanted his contract done by April 15th, or he wasn't going to have any talks about it, and he was going to try to go into free agency.
He said specifically this: if I did not get my contract done by this date, I will not talk to you guys about it, and I will be entering free agency next year. And you know what the organization did? They paid him the next day at 2 a.m. in the morning. Because you know what that's basically their way of saying? That's when a rich person says, I can't get you.
And then a lot of people get caught up because they saying, okay, it's Russell Wilson Dak. So, I mean, no. Okay, Russell Wilson has more experience. He got more big games. He got better coach. He got a lot going for himself. He's been in the league a long time. But then you got to ask yourself, is Russell Wilson better than Goff? Every one of us going to say, what? Of course. And then you say, is Russell Wilson better than Wentz? All of us going to say, of course. But guess what? Both of those guys got more than Russell Wilson in what? Total guarantee. So you can't just look at the $35 million, because guess what? $35 million now is not worth $35 million from last year. Because this year, to give that $35 million, you got to add on another $10 million on top of the total cap. Because the cap goes up every year. So $35 million this year is really like 33 last year. That's what you got to see it as. So every year when the cap goes up, the percentage of that cap for the quarterback is going to be taken from that as well. So when we thinking in whole numbers, like, is 35, is that worth 35? It depends on when you pay him the 35.
And it's funny, think about this. It's funny because you know what? I'll even say it like this. And I don't care if y'all don't follow me. Dak is probably better than Russell Wilson. You want to tell you why? Because you tell me if Russell Wilson had to fight through Jason Garrett, Scott Linehan, and half the organization that's been fired in the last 4 years. Right? Russell Wilson has a Hall of Fame coaching staff that has been in place since he's entered the league. Has had exceptional coaches. Think of all the BS that Dak has had to play through. Now, I'm curious to know what would happen if you put Dak in that same situation that Russell Wilson was dropped into with a guy like, what's that guy, Pete Carroll? The guy who's won national championships on one level, then came to the NFL, won them on another level. So there's some goddamn good coaching going on there.
Real good coaching.
So I'm just saying, golf is about handicap, right?
Man.
One guy has, boss, you know golf better than me, you know what I'm saying? If I got a handicap and you ain't got a hand, are we really playing the same game? No, because one of us got to work harder. That's all I'm saying. Dak on his third offensive coordinator. Think of that. Dak on his third offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
And he only been in the league 4 years. Second head coach. Second number one wide. Think about this. This is his second number one wide receiver. Because we had Dez, then we had Amari Cooper.
And people
I'm just saying.
Everything perfect to be. No, bro. Listen, Russell Wilson is weaponed up, bro. They gave him Gordon and DK in 1 year.
1 year.
Come on, bro. Y'all, look what they added to Russell Wilson, and y'all saying he don't need weapons to succeed?
And think about this. Who led the league? And even with him getting DK and Gordon, who led the NFL in passing yards?
Dak, bro. Like, come on, man.
Like, think about this. His weapons last year, Amari Cooper, 2017, led the league in drops. We had the number one drops in the... Did Russell Wilson have a wide receiver core that dropped 36 passes? Did he have a wide receiver who caught 11, who had 1,000 yards, but also dropped 11 passes?
No. Say, listen, man.
Like, didn't Russell Wilson have Jimmy Graham at one time?
Yes.
Who we have? Jason Witten? I'm not knocking Jason Witten.
Yes.
But that's all I'm saying. Didn't they have a...
All of us would take Graham over Witten.
Bruh, didn't for the majority of Russell Wilson's career have a defense called the Legion of Boom who led the NFL in takeovers? What are takeovers? Oh, takeovers is when you...
Top 3 all-time defense.
Takeovers is when you take the ball away from the offense and you give it back to Russell Wilson so he can score again.
Right. Top 3 defense probably all-time.
Like, did Dak's offensive line give up 56 sacks last year? And
it's like, but the deal is that going back to is he worth 35? It's 3 parts of a contract. It's 3 main parts of a contract.
To do all that and be still successful, he's worth the money, bro.
And then, like, if you're talking about worth is not the right number. Worth is not the right term because, see, it's already broken down that Dallas is making over $125 million a year on Dak and his endorsements and the branding that they get from Dak and those endorsements. So if you making 125, I'm gonna ask you something. That's about 15 cents to make $1. How many times would you spend 15 cents if you was gonna make $1 every time?
As many times as I could.
You would do it 20 million times. And keep doing it because that's what Dallas is getting in return. So in terms of worth, come on. And then $35 million this year is going to be peanuts in the next 6 years. $35 million this year is going to be like an insult in 6 years. Just think back. Tyron Smith, when he first got his contract, oh my God, they gave Tyron a record-breaking 10-year contract. There's never been $100 million tackle in the history of all time.
Yeah.
And then look at it now.
Yeah.
6 years later, 5 years later, Tyron is in the middle of the pack in terms of enumeration and what he getting paid. Because it's a difference when that cap keep going up every year. So does the percentage of cap that you was paid when you was paid it. That's why people looking at Cam right now saying, Cam, he's a damn good deal because he's 21. But when he got his first contract, he was a record-breaking quarterback.
Turn the lights off.
So 35 now is not going to be 35, you know? So, you know, that's just what it is. So, and then when you're talking about paying Dak, you got to. It's 3 people that got to get paid on this team. 3. Been very consistent on this. Everybody else is expendable.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Turn the lights off.
Got to be paid is Dak, Cooper, and Zeke.
We're gonna get to all them. We're gonna get to all them. We just going through Dak right now. We just focusing on. We're gonna go through each thing. But Quinn, my boy Quinn, just to clear it up, my boy Quinn says, "I'm sorry, Dak is not better than Russell Wilson." Well, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. The cool thing about it is, we don't know, but I know this: under Dak has harder circumstances to succeed, and still is putting up just as good or better numbers. Like, the only thing that Russell Wilson is beating Dak Prescott in is team stats. But if you look at individuals as in individually doing their individual job, if you put Dak in the Seattle Seahawks, statistically, you should get better results. Because Dak is putting up better individual. You know what I'm saying? Now, my thing is this, man. Have the Dallas Cowboys, another thing too, think about this. The Seahawks have always been invested in their quarterback. They've been invested in Russell Wilson with 5 years. We're talking about a guy that's trying to get paid. So the fact that you're even talking about a guy that's trying to get paid versus a guy who's already been paid, has been paid 2 times, shows you the worth of your quarterback. So, guess what? I will say this. Dak Prescott may not be the Russell Wilson of the NFL, but he is definitely the Russell Wilson of the Dallas Cowboys.
That's without a doubt.
And that's 100% for sure. Because I don't know, to be honest with you, I don't know. It's so many people that just underestimate the value of playing on a 1-year contract as a quarterback, not getting hurt and balling. Now, I understand that a lot of you guys, since we didn't make the playoffs, automatically Dak sucks. I get it. I get it. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I don't read everybody's comment, because I kind of gauge, since you guys have been watching, I kind of gauge where some people are at and where they're not at. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. Some people, since we didn't make the playoff, everybody sucks. You know what I'm saying? But that's not really the case. That's not really the case. You know what I'm saying? And there is an argument to make. There is a great argument that can be made between Dak and Russell Wilson. But yo, we about to go on to the next. Boss Cowboy. I picked Dak Prescott, so you pick the next one.
Oh man, you want me to pick a person? That's 28 of them.
Anyone you want. Go anyone you want.
28. Man, you wrong for this, bro. Damn. I gotta pick one, bro.
Hey, I gotta say something. Y'all, I'm sorry, but my own Cowboy fans irritate me. Your Jose, my boy, says talking about 500 teams. I don't think the whole team choked against 500 teams. What I think is your ownership was too dumb to fire Brett Mayer, since he missed 4 kicks that led to 4 losses. But we're gonna blame Dak Prescott for not making the kicks. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what happens. Remember all those kicks that Brett Mayer missed? It was Dak Prescott that put us in place to even make the kicks that he missed. But that's Dak's part too. He should have just kicked the ball. Boss Cowboy, give me your name.
Man, I'm gonna go crazy on you on this one. Joe Looney, man. That's gonna open up Pandora's box.
At first sight, I ain't gonna lie. I'm jumping on the table and I'm banging on the table for Joe Looney. If you're asking me what West Coast want to do and what Cowboys gonna do, I'm sorry. I think they're 2 different directions. Because I think Joe Looney should have played this year. And when someone doesn't play and you need him to play in Dallas, that lets me know that they don't value him, and there's a good chance that they ain't bringing him back. So if you asking me personally, I'm re-signing Joe Looney. But I also think Joe Looney's going to be in a Byron Jones situation where the Dallas Cowboys probably didn't piss on him enough, where he the Dallas Cowboys didn't piss on Byron Jones. But Joe Looney they did piss on. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like Joe Looney is in no way, shape, or form going to want to re-sign with the Dallas Cowboys under the assumption that he is a backup. Period. If I'm Joe Looney, I'm doing the Bryce Butler. I ain't coming back if I'm not starting. Like, that's what I'm doing for Joe Looney. Because I believe Joe Looney will definitely start somewhere else in the NFL. I believe he will. And I won't be surprised if it's of a divisional team that takes Joe, because that will be a team that will have seen him the most. But I think Joe Looney. I think Joe Looney has value, man. I think they should have traded him. If you're not gonna play him, freak him, trade him, man. Get something for him. But my heart says resign. My heart says resign him. I want to resign him. But I just have a feeling he's gonna get cut, man. Not even get cut. He's gonna get snagged away for more money. What are your thoughts?
Man, I'm right there with you because I feel like he's also, just like you said, Byron Jones, to where the market is going to try to entice him away. Because, see, Looney...
And the ability to start, man.
Looney has a year of film, bro, of good film, bro. So that's the thing about when Fredericks went out, that exposed the quality of player that Looney is. Now, is he Fredericks at his best? No. But is he starter grade? Absolutely yes. It's just so happened you sitting behind the all-pro, right? So when you sitting behind the all-pro but starter grade, eventually you go look at the clock and say, hey, man, it's going to expire on me. I got to go look out for my family and put myself in the market to be enumerated. I got to get paid, you know? So I think we could lose Looney because he got to go make a decision for him and his family. But at the same time, I'm all the way with you on this. Looney is not the guy you want to let go because you got a lot of experience with him. You got a lot of locker room love with him. But most importantly, you got major position flex with him and durability with him, right? So if you try to say, okay, let's go with Xavier Su'a-Filo, that's going to be cheaper. We get that. But at least when you have Looney, you got a 2-for-1. You got a center/guard. Versus if you got Xavier Su'a-Filo, you got a guard. So it's like, would you rather pay, let's just throw out a number, $3-4 million for one guard? Or would you want to pay maybe $6 million, just throwing out a number, for Looney when you got a guard and center? I'm going to take the guard and center.
Guard and center.
I think somebody's going to pay him more than that. Just, you know, so I think he's going to get away from us, which... it's sad, but it's also good timing if he does get away from us, to be honest, because you also got McGovern, but McGovern don't have no experience, bro. There's no experience in him. We don't even know if he gonna stay healthy. Plus, on top of that, this is a real deep draft in terms of tackle and pretty good at guard. So we can actually kind of fix depth if we decide to draft depth, but at the same time, I think Looney out. And not because he can't play, because I think he gonna want to get paid.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's gonna be a combination of getting paid and wanting to play, man. I just think that someone, it's just like with these new, you know, you'll be like, dang, you know, these kids. I noticed one thing they're telling these kids when they're getting recruited for college is like, yeah, you can go to Alabama and sit for 3 years, or you can come to such and such and play right now. And you can come to Texas Tech and play right now. You know what I'm saying?
Play right now.
Play right now. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's how it's gonna be. Like, especially when you on your second contract. Like Joe Looney, I'm sorry. I try to be a Cowboy fan as much as I can, but as being around, the Lord has blessed me with the ability to be around these players too and have a relationship with these guys. And I'm sorry, Joe Looney would be a fool to be trying to fight to stay in Dallas because Dallas can't pay you like a starter. So since they can't pay you like a starter, you're not going to be starting. You're not going to be starting.
You gotta go.
You're going to be a backup. And to be honest with you, he would be a fool to think that the Dallas, especially, think about this, you can't even trust that someone will get hurt and you can play and stay the starter. Because guess what? Fredericks got hurt. He came back, and you went back to the bench, bruh.
After a good year.
They didn't even, I made a video talking about how he got snubbed. The dude, in a 56 sacks season, the Cowboys gave up 56 sacks. He gave up one in a playoff game. The entire year. 1 sack out of 56 was Joe Looney.
Going against the best of the best.
Going against the best of the best. And it wasn't even against the Rams. It was against Seattle.
Oh.
So, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, so it's like, bro, and imagine the feeling of defeat, bro. You're in the league 2 years. You finally get an opportunity. You take the opportunity. You kill the opportunity. And they reward you by sending you to the bench. And not do they send you to the bench, but they send you to the bench Like when you're leaving, you know when them dudes be walking off the field and they are just clean, like they didn't even was on the field. Like Joe Looney don't do nothing for the Cowboys. Like, bruh, that within itself, I'm sorry, man. Like that's not real football. If you come back and someone's hurt, they supposed to play their way back. They gotta earn their spot back. But the Cowboys didn't even give him. Think about this: when Connor went down, they didn't even give him a chance at the guard. They gave it to Xavier.
Yeah, and then when Xavier finally went down, he went in there and balled.
He went in there and balled at the last moment, like, and that's like a spit in the face almost.
Yeah, bro, I balled for you a whole year, but I don't want to talk about it. Yeah, and I hate to see Looney go, man. I love Looney personality, man. I love everything about Looney, bro. Like, for real. You can tell he's a genuine person. He the life of the room. And then when he get out there, he be dogging boys. All that nice guy stuff go to hell when that boy get on that field. All that old, Mr. Jokester. There don't be no jokes on that field. He Dr. Jekyll, man. Like, think about all the splash plays.
Yeah.
He always wiping somebody out with Zeke on the screen, bro. Think about it. Nobody splashing balls like Looney, bro. Looney be out there punishing balls. Like, I'm trying to demoralize you. I mean, I'm going to hate to see him go, bro. Like, that's one I'm going to be like, ooh.
Yeah, and then think about this, boss. What do you think it said to him after you do that and they go draft a damn guard with the third pick? With your third round?
Yeah, he out.
Bro, I would have, like, I'm going to be honest, when they drafted McGovern, I would have been like, I'm out. Trade me.
And I got problems with McGovern, man. McGovern might end up being a good player, and he might end up being an amazing player. The only problem I got with McGovern right now is I think this draft is just exponentially just good, bro. They got real day one starters in this draft, but that's another subject. So yeah, that's all my input on Looney. I think he out, and I'm gonna hate to see him go.
All right, throw me one more so we can get up out of here. Let me.
Man, you gonna put it on me again?
No, I'll pick one. I'm gonna end it with Malcolm Smith.
I knew it. That's a good one.
The reason why I'm doing Malcolm Smith because I got a couple people. My boy Tony said, Malcolm Smith, come on, West Coast Malcolm Smith. So Malcolm Smith. So I'm picking Malcolm Smith. And I know it's a bunch of other linebackers on there, and we're going to get to them too. And they're not saying I want Malcolm Smith more than those linebackers, but I'm going to just pick Malcolm Smith. I think it's very important for the linebacker position. The Dallas Cowboys are going to basically stay in a 4-3 defense, but they said they are going to be able to switch. That means there are going to be chances when we do run a 3-4. So we're going to need an extra linebacker for that time. Also, you guys know how we was about Fredericks all last year. I wasn't going to... I mean, honestly, I still don't... The film says that Frederick really wasn't himself until like week 6. Now, yes, he did play, but the film said he really wasn't himself until like week 6. Now, this is my take on Malcolm Smith. Until I know what the heck is really going on with LVE, I think all my linebackers are going to get a pass. Even though we're just talking about Malcolm Smith, I think all my linebackers are going to get a pass. Because if LVE is not able, I'm not just going to sit up here and say that I'm under the assumption that LVE is going to come back and just be 100% healthy. I'm not. Why? Because you only have one leg and one neck. And this is something that he's had a consistent issue with. When he went down, he never came back. I think until you understand where it's going to be going with LVE, you got to have a guy, if you have to, cannot fill in, but can play a large amount of snaps. And I think if you look at the 4 linebackers that are free agents right now, I think Malcolm Smith, even over Sean Lee, I think I would trust, if I had to see a guy play 16 games, all 16 games, it would be Malcolm Smith. I know Sean Lee is going to give me this dog, nasty, powerful game, 1 or 2 games every now and then. But if I had to go consistently 16 games, or I had to start the season off and I knew LVE wasn't going to be there 4 or 5 games, it'd be Malcolm Smith. That's my thoughts. What are your thoughts on Malcolm Smith before we get out of here?
Yeah, Malcolm Smith, man, it's a super priority, man. I think it should be Dak, then Malcolm Smith, then Cooper. He that important. Because first of all, he flashed with very little time. And because I did a whole offseason guide, I looked at the big picture as much as possible. And the big picture is we have 28 expired contracts. Okay. The biggest out of the 28 group is DT at 6. Behind that is linebacker at 4. Expired. With one of your main linebackers with a neck injury. So that's leverage.
That's really 5. You got 5 linebackers there that have question marks on them. Technically, you have 5.
You got 5 question marks.
5 question marks in your linebacker room.
You got 5 major question marks.
No matter if it's money or injury, it's still a question mark. You don't know.
It's question marks, right?
You don't know.
So when you looking at all that uncertainty, you got to think that we're going to budget. Because we not like last year where we had 2 big needs, which was what? DT and safety. That was our biggest needs. And for the most part, we was like, we still the same team. You know, pretty much, right?
Shout out Tristan Hill.
Team, right? So, yeah, we were still the same team from 2018, right?
Yeah.
Now we know going into 2020 that this team is going to look completely different. Completely different. So when you're looking at linebacker, and I'm thinking now I'm thinking budget, right? I'm not thinking. That's why you gotta, when you think big picture, that's why you gotta sideways. You gotta kind of wisely shop. You can't be like, I'm gonna pay all these guys top market because I gotta play the or game with these guys. So it's like I can go out there and draft a linebacker, right? I could, or I can go with this guy that was an MVP of a Super Bowl that came in and flashed. That's going to be grateful because he was pretty much off the street, pretty much, right? Smith was off the street, right? So we brought him in. He made plays. I'm going to be able to put him in the offseason. He's going to be super low cost, but he's an ex-great, which we call Marshall's picks. So that makes him a priority. Plus, he has leverage. So with somebody like that, especially with LVE with his neck surgery, you need that insurance now.
Yeah. And also Boston.
Now, like you need that now. You want, that's why I'm not playing. When I say Dak, Malcolm Smith need to be signed for 2 years.
Yeah. And boss, I'm gonna tell you something else that I like about Malcolm Smith. Also, it allows you to not have to make LVE play if he doesn't have to play. And what I'm saying is, I know y'all want LVE on the field, but y'all gotta remember, man, LVE on his 3rd year, that means he gonna, in 1 more year, this conversation gonna turn from him being healthy to us having to re-sign. And it's like, I need to see another full year of him being healthy. So, I mean, if I'm not saying if I have to, but am I willing to eat a 3rd year on LVE and making sure that 4th year, he needs to be okay with doing that. Like, he needs to be okay with doing that. Because when you leave that 3rd year, boy, it's about talking about money now. You know what I'm saying? And he needs a full year away from injury. So if I'm LVE's camp, I'm looking at this 3rd year as like, yo, if I got to miss a couple games in this season to make sure I'm good for 4 and 5 going forward when I start asking for money, then I got to do what I got to do. In Dallas Cowboys, knowing that you want to re-sign this kid, that's the mindset you should be thinking. Because I'm going to be honest with you, when I look at LVE, it makes me feel like, dang, LVE went out in like week 6, but he didn't. He went out like week 11. Damn near week 12. So if you do a whole calendar year, if he's out 10 months, that's going into training camp. That's easily going into training camp. Do I want LVE having the thought of, I got to get back out there? No, I don't want that. Why? Because I got to decide if I got to pay this dude next year. And that's sometimes what y'all see what happened with Kevin Durant. These injuries, man, you see what happened to the dude out there in Washington. You see, that dude in Washington was like, man, I will not play for y'all. I'm like, damn, what did they say to him?
Right.
And I'm talking about the left tackle, the one that they said, you know what I'm saying? Like, these guys are taking these injuries serious.
And you should.
What did Dez tell us? About injuries.
Yeah, like if he could do it over, and I agree with him, he should have played injured in 2015. Because you know what our ungrateful fan base did? We basically called it a decline year when it was really a sacrificial year. because he was exploding before he went down on the ankle. But then he tried to push and come on back. He should have been like, you know what, I'm out.
Yep.
We call that because we say he declined 3 years. It's like y'all really counted 2015 against him, a courageous year. So, and another thing too, man, that I also we got to be on the lookout for. I put this in the Boss Cowboy offseason guide. We got to be on the lookout for linebacker too, because we hearing the same things we heard last offseason. We need a safety, we need a DT. We need a safety, we need a DT. We need a safety, we need a DT. We need a safety. See, but look at that linebacker too, man. Because when you drafted LVE, you drafted him to be insurance for Sean Lee, and now Sean Lee is the insurance for LVE. So since you have that dynamic again, you have basically the same priority need. Because when we got LVE, he was a what?
Insurance.
Priority. He was a priority. So now we sit in the same situation, which means what? Linebacker is a what?
Priority. If LVE doesn't go down, we're not re-signing Sean Lee. Sean Lee got extra year on his contract because of what happened with LVE.
Right. And so, like, we go see Sean Lee again, but, like, another thing that I'll be on the lookout for West Coast, since we know we back in a priority need situation at linebacker, it's going to say a lot what they really think about LVE long-term and that injury by how we draft.
That's true.
So if we go out there and draft a linebacker in the first round at 17,
then he's really hurt. He's really hurt,
and they really don't really expect long-term usage of
That's
him.
fact.
So, and that's just and we.
And you can pretty much say the first through second round.
The first through second round, I would even say third.
Third, I would almost say third. It really, I'm gonna tell you, boss, what it really goes to say first through third round and the player. If the Dallas Cowboys feel like in the third or second round they got a guy who they should have got like in the first or in the second, then that's gonna make it very easy to make a move on LVE. Right. And you gotta remember, with our defense that we're about to run, the linebacker position is monumental. Like, you cannot have a guy coming in, out. You can't run no defensive scheme like that. You can't. So, you're gonna have to, and I'm gonna be honest, and that's the last thing I'm gonna say. There was something about Jason Garrett saying that we do not feel that this injury is career threatening. If that's the case, why you bring it up? And think about this. LVE never played a snap since Jason Garrett said that. Since Jason Garrett made that statement, we do not believe it's career threatening. We have not seen LVE on the field. So we don't even really know if that statement's really true. Think about that, boss. You don't even know if that's true. That statement's true.
You don't, man. You don't. And so that's why Malcolm X. That's why Malcolm.
My brother.
That's why I had one of those MSNBC slips.
She said flake.
Nakers.
The Nakers. The Dallas Cowboy Nakers.
Okay. Naker, please.
Naker, please. My Twiggers. I'm just over here with my Twiggers. Hey, we ain't got no major sponsors, so we ain't got to be politically correct. I don't care. I declined. Facebook said, you want to run political ads? I was like, nah, I pass. I don't need that money. I don't need it. Byron Jones, you don't need that money. I don't need that money.
Well, man, I forgot what I was going to say, man. That nigga took me out. But I say this, though, man. Malcolm is definitely, I was talking about Malcolm. Malcolm is definitely priority. I looked in the free agency. I looked at the draft, and we should be looking for signals on linebacker. Now, if we go past round 3, they got a good feeling about LVE. But if it's between round 1 and 3 on linebacker,
if it's a guy's name who's a top 100 pick, then that tells you something. Honestly, I don't give a damn where he's picked. You know what I'm saying? Right. If he's in the 4th round, and this is a guy who we had ranked as a guy that could possibly, because the thing about it is the ability to play. The ability to play. There, you can love the hell out of someone, but guess what? Once you go into that realm, just like Brett Mayer, we love Brett Mayer until what? Until we couldn't trust him. Once you can't trust him, it doesn't matter. You gotta let it go. Tony Romo, we loved him until what? We couldn't trust them injuries. As soon as we trusted them injuries, the first thing Scott smoking, it was easy to move past it. Now, it wasn't for Jerry Jones, but for Stephen Jones, once he couldn't trust you, he's out. You know what I'm saying? So that's my biggest thing with LVE, man, and the Dallas Cowboy linebacker position as a history. And then think about this. It's not good that you have Sean Lee, a guy who has dealt with injury, still in your building. Like, I know the Cowboys are going to be like, I don't want to have two of those. You know what I'm saying? Because we think about this. We still re-signed Sean Lee, hoping that he wouldn't get injured, and he did. So it's like, that's you get what I mean, Boss Cowboy? Like, we have a bad example of doing it, you know what I'm saying, in the building. So it's like, if LVE's like, I'm going to be different, they're looking at Sean Lee like, how? You know what I'm saying? Like, how are you going to be different?
Right. So, I mean, like, but see, that we going in depth and we got a lot more because, you know, obviously the Boss Cowboy off-season guide is going to be coming out Monday. And when we have that guy, we're going to be talking about it Tuesday, you know, especially with those who...
Wednesday's a draft. We'll talk about it every day. We're going to talk about it every day.
We're going to talk about it every day because now, you know, because West Coast, we go back and forth on this kind of stuff sometimes, like, and we have discussions, and that, you know, that obviously inspires some of the ideas, you know what I mean? And so it's like we talked about pretty much a lot of the positions already just on the phone and different stuff, where we just really just kind of analyzing all the positions. So it's about, in my opinion, from really breaking this down, it's about 8 positions of need, right? So the 8 positions of need, the major is the linebackers with 5, 6 DTs, 3 corners, 3 safeties, and then on offense is 2 quarterbacks, 2 tight ends, 3 receivers, and 3 guards. And that's, excuse me, hold up.
Hey, why you say that? I had a correction real quick. Dak Prescott, when I said he's had 3 offense OCs, what I meant by he's had 3 different offensive systems. He had Scott Linehan's system. He had Kellen Moore's system, or whatever they ran last year, and then they've already said that they're going to be running a West Coast offense, which is a totally different system than everything, all of that. So imagine your offensive play system changing 3 times in 4 years? That's ridiculous.
That's a lot.
That's a lot, bro. They don't even do that. Like, bro, I'm gonna tell you, if that was happening in college, Dak would be transferring. This is the reason why quarterbacks transfer, why kids leave other schools. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's the third dude calling plays. Well, I'm gonna get drafted like that.
Yep. So, like, we gonna go into depth, man, like on, you know, like these 2 QBs, 2 tight ends, 3 receivers, 3 guards, in terms of need. Then there are want positions. Like, I believe a want position is defensive end, running back,
wide receiver.
Well, wide receiver, we got 3, so I call that a need.
Oh, a need. Oh, I get it. So I get it.
I'm calling it a need, though, based on the expired.
So that's the icing on the cake. When you said running back, I was like, wait. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you're right. I get what you're saying.
And I said want for running back. So it's wants and then it's need.
Yeah, because we lost Mike Weber. A lot of people don't know that. We lost Mike Weber off our practice squad.
If we wouldn't have lost Mike Weber, that wouldn't have even been a want. I wouldn't even looked at it. But the fact that we don't have Weber, I still have some wants. So when we talk about that, and it's going to be in my off-season guide, we looked at free agents as well as draft options. So it's like it's a well-rounded guide. It's not where we going to be just dealing with the typical DT safety stuff. It's a full analyzation of all needs that the Dallas Cowboys have, and more importantly, answers.
Yeah.
See,
and
I talked about that a long time ago. He said, bro, we were just talking on the phone. He said, bro, listen, bro, this is one thing about us that we just cannot do. We cannot be the complainers and crybabies without solutions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's just how we rock. You know what I mean? And I was like, hey, man, bro, like, that's exactly what I wanted the show to be about, too. He was like, yeah, we not going to be on our fire Garrett, but then don't have any solutions.
Any names on who you should replace him with.
Names or, you know, so it's like, so all the ideas and all the different things and all the potential problems we see, like when we say it's 6 DTs, we not gonna just say, oh, we're in trouble. We got 6 expired contracts, plus that doesn't count Crawford with the hip. We gonna say, yes, we got the 6 DTs and expired contracts and Crawford with the hip, but these guys are likely coming back. Plus, these guys could more than likely be free agent options, and on top of that, these are draft options. And we're gonna be doing that every week. So by the time we get to, that's why it's called an off-season guy. By the time we get to the off-season and in the training camp, the guide is gonna be already pretty much done, and we're gonna be who's gonna be the 53 from the guide.
Yeah, and also you guys remember on that's going to be every Tuesday. We're going to be focusing in primarily on free agency and moves that are happening on the team. Then on Wednesday, we're going to be kicking it. We're going to be starting the official draft show, the official Boss Cowboy West Coast draft show. We're actually going to be live at the draft this year. Remember last year we just held the draft at the house. The year before that, I was at the house. I was at the draft in Dallas. So this year, next year, once again, we will be at the draft in Las Vegas. And tomorrow, to kick off the draft show, I have Kyle Duggar, standout draft prospect from the Senior Bowl, absolutely balled. I know if you guys saw that highlight reel from the Senior Bowl, he was the guy who intercepted the pass in the team drills when they had the one-on-one. He just literally just took the ball right out the dude's hands, and he balled. So I mean, he also got awarded the Cliff Harris Award. Y'all Dallas Cowboy fans, y'all know who Cliff Harris is, one of the best drafted defensive players from the Dallas Cowboys ever. Also going into the Hall of Fame this year too with Jimmy Johnson, but he actually won that award as the best defensive D2 player. And my boy Boss, he's the draft expert, but he's saying, man, if this dude can run a good goddamn time, not only does he have a chance of being good at the combine, but this is a guy that we might look back on possibly saying that we actually interviewed a first-round pick.
Right, wow. Bro. It's a possibility.
Wow.
He is rising that fast, bro. He's having a meteoric rise right now. Like they're gassing him. And he deserved it, bro. Yeah. Like listen, I'm gonna say it all the way funky, man. I didn't have him on my list until I saw him in the Senior Bowl. I didn't. You know what I mean? I knew that he had good highlights. I saw some of his film, but it was like I didn't trust film on D2. I was like, I can't trust it until I see you against equal competition. And then he went out there and he was flying, bro. Like it was no separation between him and those tight ends. He was on some Byron Jones lockdown type mess, bro. You know, and then, some stuff started coming out about him. Like they said, they like his swag. And I like his swag too, because they say usually people be kind of playing it safe when they say, what's your 40 gonna be? And he said, I'm gonna run a 4.3.
It's funny because
most people shy away from that because they be trying to be politically correct and all that. See, I don't know about you, but I'm gonna say this real quick. Just check me out real quick.
Go.
Real quick. If I was ever talking to a woman and she was confident, bro, she was not lying, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If she ever said, boy, I'm telling you, you ain't got nothing to worry about. She gave you that look like, I got you. It was true. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's how I feel about my boy. When he say, I'm going to run a 4.3, and he put it out there, he said, boy, I am fast.
Yeah.
And if you run a 4.3 at safety, with the film you put out,
yeah. Man, hey, well, boss, I'm going to tell you, a lot of people are not just even projecting him as a safety. They're projecting him as a starter at the slot and then progressing into the safety position. So they actually have him. I did a bunch of research on him today, and there are some reports that are saying that they feel that this guy can come in right now and play and be productive in the slot. And I'll be honest with you, from the coverage wise, from what I've seen on man to man and in drills, I know the boy can cover. I know he can cover. And that's what you need in the slot. And what he did in the punt return game and the kick return games lets me know that he can stay with really fast, elusive kids, because his punt return and kickoff returns film is ridiculous.
Man, he like a football player.
Like I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, if you want to just look at him as a DB, don't look at his kickoff return tape, because it's gonna sell you, and you're gonna be like, I want him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want him.
You look at the returns and. Like, he'll juice you on the
like he nasty on that.
So, he'll have you juice. See guys like that, they dangerous because they just ballers, bro. Yeah. Like when this West Coast from playing, bro. It's some guys you can almost stick them anywhere, bro.
Right now, the highest projection I've seen him is the second to third round pick. But I'm gonna be honest with you, considering This guy is coming from a Division II school. That is ridiculous.
And he can rise. It just depends. Like if he rock a 4-3 or even a 4-4.
If he go in the second round, we have a chance at him. He go in the first, we ain't gonna have no chance at him. That's the only way we even have to
run a 4-3 for us to have a chance.
Yeah.
I mean,
but I like him. I like his tenacity. Small school. When he came out of high school, he literally only had 3 options, 3 offers. He took this one, and he balled out where he was. The first thing in the game you got to do is you got to grow where you planted. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing that this young man did. And I'm gonna be honest with you, there is just something you can never go wrong with a small school star. As long as they can shine on the big lights, them dudes end up. And I am not saying that he will become a Hall of Famer. I am not saying that. But what I'm saying is, go look at some of these Hall of Famers and look at these small schools they go to. Why? Because, man, it's just that underdog mentality, that underdog spirit, man. You know what I'm saying? So, and when he got on the big lights, the dude produced. That's what I like. You know what I'm saying? The light, he did not sheer away from the lights, and he was definitely felt like he was out there. And I'm eager to see what he does in this combine. But with the gas that he's getting right now, man, I could definitely see him going. Early second round. But the fact that the fact of the matter that we got a guy on here that's taking the opportunity to come on here and tell us his story, man, I'm excited. Make sure you guys tune in. He's going to be available for a few questions. It's going to be about 15, 20 minutes. And we're going to have a great show, man. So make sure you guys tune in tomorrow at 6 p.m. Boss Cowboy and Boss Cowboy West Coast and Kyle Durkin are going to be on here. And we're going to have ourselves a great show. Boss Cowboy, where they can find you at, man?
And Boss Cowboy Sports. And then, Boss Cowboy Sports.
Yeah. One thing I like about Cal is he takes the ball. So
yeah.
He takes the ball. And when he takes it, he's trying to take it.
Yeah, it's he trying to make plays, bro. Like, and see, that's what football players does, man. That's what they do, man. They trying to make plays. You know what I mean? And I like a guy that's a punt returner. Because when you a punt returner and you playing safety, what does that say? That say that you are really good
at high pointing the ball.
At high pointing the ball. You don't lose.
I caught that as soon as you said it. As soon as you said that, I caught that.
Exactly.
I caught that as soon as you said it. I was like, I know exactly where he's going.
My brother, you with me? He not gonna lose the ball.
I thought about that right now. That's
a lot
true.
of secondary people, they panic, right? They see the ball and they coming down, and receivers, because they so used to getting up under the ball, they know exactly how to adjust. But when you are a punt returner, you do the same thing. So when he's playing safety, he has outfield skills.
Yeah. Woo! Hey, it's gonna be cracking tomorrow, man. So we kicking off the West Coast and Boss Cowboy Draft Show tomorrow with a draft pick, with a soon-to-be draft pick, man. I'm excited, man. This is gonna be a great show, and we're gonna be at the goddamn draft, so it's gonna be all good. And he plays with a chip on his shoulder, so you know we love that. All right, so hey, man, you guys already know what it is, man. We appreciate you guys for rocking with us tonight. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow at 6 p.m. 6 p.m. Cali time. You guys already know what it is. Never look down because the stars up. Peace.